mother-daughter context so commonly examined in the movie Joyluck Club, exists an ongoing strain between the independently Asian and American components that together comprise the Asian American identity explored in the film. The overarching familial and gender values both add to and detract from the issues of race in this film. Both mothers and daughters, in their flashbacks and their present-day lives, epitomize the classic struggle of assimilation, adopting a new culture while retaining traditional values and customs. Together, the creative forces of Wayne Wang and Amy Tan used plot, costumes, and characters to portray the struggle of Asian American identity. Throughout the film, Western culture seems to appear as a goal to strive for, with the migration of the Chinese mothers to the United States. The daughters' accents are flawlessly American, which serve to contrast with the mother's broken English. And with the generational struggle, there's also a parallel struggle of cultures. Lindo calls the daughters of the Joyluck Club American girls. While the central analysis is that the mothers represent the traditional Chinese culture and the daughters stand for Western culture, there are deeper hints to the struggle between the opposing sides of the hyphenated identity. The opening scene can be described as classically Oriental, telling the story of a mother who tries to hold on to something from her homeland. Yet it is told through June's perfect English, giving the viewer a sense of diluted authenticity. Traces of westernization are evident, even in flashbacks of China, showing that the assimilation begins with the mother's generation. The costumes shown in mainland China have Western influences, and whether this was deliberately added to the film or reflects the history of China, it sets the stage for the depiction of the opposite, Oriental influences in the West. We see Asian children playing Mozart, and others in the traditional dress of their culture. However, there is an interesting role reversal as a white child in an Oriental costume sings "I Enjoy Being a Girl," originally sung by an Asian depicting Western culture. Another change in roles involves June's mother, who undergoes a complete costume change from a traditional Chinese woman to a Stepford wife. The Western Asian connotations in Joyluck Club are evident, but whether or not this relationship is completely friendly is another issue to explore. The subtext of culture in the movie goes beyond the Chinese adopting American customs. Through subtle cues, the movie uses hints of the West to both question and threaten the identity of Asians in America. In June's childhood flashback, we are treated to what appears to be comical relief as she introduces us to her practically deaf piano teacher. While she purposely makes fun of him, we get a taste of almost malicious ridicule.
Me and Beethoven, we both hear it in our head. Now,
the picture of an old Chinese man in a Western suit attempting to use Western words such as gusto and okie dokie comes off as just as comical as his deafness, a jab at a pitiful attempt at assimilation. This aversion moves beyond mere ridicule to passive hostility. Waverly is competent and proud of her chess skills, but the only opponent she has ever shown playing against is a white boy. Here, age is not the thing emphasized, as the boy is fairly young as well. Instead, the chess matches serve to identify American as the enemy. This label persists throughout the rest of the movie. Wayne Wang uses white to symbolize westernization, and it is woven throughout the movie in an antagonistic light. White is deliberately tied into some of the movie's more disturbing scenes, such as this one, in which Ying uses the shards of a white plate to threaten her husband. The whiteness of the bathroom and of her dress when she kills her son are noticeable as she struggles with her lack of spirit and who she has become, one of the dangers of assimilation. She is shown in a trance-like state, watching out of a window through white curtains, once again dressed in white. The troublesome nature of Lena's marriage is foreshadowed in the overwhelming white on her way up to the apartment. In one scene, Lindo, Waverly's mother, remarks on the ridiculousness of going to a fancy barber with torn-up jeans, as Waverly, her American daughter, chastises her for her cheapness and her lack of style. As the barber, who happens to be white and wearing a white shirt, lowers her chair, the stationary shot, in contrast with the jerky sinking motion of the chair, emphasizes the degradation and humiliation that she feels as she clings to her culture. We see something similar when Waverly tries to get her mother to acknowledge her American ways, her white boyfriend, her cohabitation with him, her cheap fur coat, her sex life. A white shirt hits and slides off of Lindo's face, once again creating a general sense of animosity and wariness towards anything white. In what some would argue are the anti-male portions of the film, there is a subtext of racial conflict and identity. Yingying's husband, in addition to being neglectful and a cheat, is clearly the most white of his friends, with Western features and the confident, cocky personality seen in so many Western characters, such as James Bond. He even wears suspenders. We see white as a foolish thing to strive for in the scene where Rich visits Waverly's family. While he attempts to adapt to Chinese ways, he is depicted as something similar to comical relief, an embarrassment, a klutz, a barbarian. Harold, Lena's frustratingly egalitarian husband, sounds positively white when he speaks and has Western mannerisms, despite being Chinese. Yet he is depicted as oppressive, pushy, and undesirable. This and other unpleasant depictions of the West subtly communicate to the viewers what one stands to lose through assimilation. The difficulties of balancing Western identity with Asian identity, however, are depicted through Rose's story.